All right, we're back here now we're on to Learning Guide 14, Trig Identities. So trig identities are used mainly in robotics, looking at trying to get one movement connecting to another movement, and we have to learn how to prove like the right side and left side equal each other. So first of all, we're going to review some simplifying. So the first thing we have here is we're going to simplify is we have some fractions here. So I always put a 1 under that so I know it's a fraction. Now what I'm looking for are things on top and on bottom so I can cancel. So I see an A there and an A there, a B with a B, a C with a C, so I'm left with 1 over 1, or we can just say 1. Here, now I see one A on top and two A's on the bottom, so this cancels and this becomes a 1. The B is on the bottom and two B's are on the top, so this becomes a 1 and that's gone. So we're left with B over A. Number 3, we have a complex fraction because we have 1 divided by this guy right here, and that's a fraction. And a complex fraction is when you have a fraction in the numerator or denominator or both. So here I want to get rid of this guy right here, this A, the complex. So if I times it by A, I get rid of it. But when you multiply the bottom, you got to multiply the top. So 1 times A is A. So that's what it simplifies to. So here I have a B and a D is my complex. So I'm going to multiply everything by B and D. So this D takes out that D. This B takes out that B. So I'm left with AD over BC. Okay, over here I have a complex of B and a B. So watch out for this one because you have to multiply everything. So we'll multiply this by a B and this by a B. B and B. So we get rid of that. That's the purpose. And now I'm left with AB plus A all over B squared plus A. Now you could factor, because on the top here I see an A common, so you can take the A out. And we're hoping when we factor out to cancel out. But in this bottom situation, there's nothing common. So I could leave it like that. Number 6 here, we're looking at adding. So the first thing when you're adding or subtracting fractions, you want a common denominator. So in this situation, B is common. So the A and C just come together. But number 7, they're different. See, B and C are different. So my denominator is B and C, and this goes up. I call it the crisscross. And this goes up. So we get AC plus B squared. All right, here are some rules for success in trig identities. All right, now the first thing is you want to change everything to S's and C's. So if you have a sine, it becomes an S. Cos, tangent becomes this. All right, so you're allowed to use your formula sheet. So please look at your formula sheet and you will see these identities so you can change them. So this example right here, see how I changed it to that. So you want to be doing that. Number 2 is tidy up. This is very, very important if you want to be successful, because if you forget to tidy up, it could lead to you not proving the identity. So now here I have an S and an S, so it becomes C. Okay, number 3 is complex. Okay, so I see a C I have to get rid of. So that makes it SC over S, and then just tidy up. So it becomes C as well. Okay, adding fractions. Okay, so these guys are different. So they come together. And then it's the criss and the cross. So I get 1 minus s plus 1 plus s, and then you can tidy up. These s's take each other out because they're negative and positive. So I get 2 over 1 plus s, 1 minus s. And this is an identity which I'll talk about in a few minutes. This is over 1, so my common denominator is s. So criss and cross, so c minus s squared. Okay, factoring. Okay, what multiplies to this guy and adds to that? So we know it's 1 and 1. And this guy, hopefully we remember it as a difference of squares. Okay, foil or rainbow. So we get 1 plus s minus s squared. So that can simplify because these guys are gone. 1 minus s squared. And again, this is an identity I'll talk about. And the Pythagorean rules. This is going to be used a lot. So we have s squared plus c squared equals 1. So if I want to isolate this, I go c squared equals, and just throw that guy over. So it's 1 minus s squared. And if I have s squared, it's just the opposite. So remember I was saying that this identity right here is something. If you look down here, it's right there, so it becomes that guy. So you'll see that a lot. And the last rule is, oh my God, I'm stuck. It's when you have a conjugate rule going on. So generally if I have a 1 plus an s on this side and on the bottom, on the other side I have 1 minus s, that's a red flag saying, I'm going to conjugate, and I'll get into that. You could have c's here, like 1 plus c and 1 minus c, okay? So those are what we call red flags for conjugating.